All right, everybody, please come back so we can get started with DBT skills. Lecture number 1, the introductory class, the basic. Okay, so this is lecture number 1. Okay, this is an introductory class. You can ask your questions in the chat box as I am teaching. First of all, what you see on the screen is all your course material. There is one main book. This is the book that we are going to be studying throughout the course. Let me show you the book. This manual was created by Matthew McKay, Jeffrey Wood, and Jeffrey Brantley, PhD, PsyD, and MD. All right, they are based on Dr. Marshall Lanahan's book, Dr. Lanahan's therapeutic modality, the DBT. All right, you can see your course slides here that we're going to start from. What else you can see? You can see here the same course. I have rearranged it and reorganized it as per our course. So skill number 1 workbook is mindfulness, taken from the same book. Skill number 2 is emotional regulation. Skill number 3, distress tolerance. And skill number 4 is interpersonal effectiveness, right? All of the slides will be given to you. There's a folder called the scanned folder. There are some additional 4 files that I have scanned for you. There's a folder called Positive Psychology. I purchased this from positivepsychology.com, a very famous website, especially if you're in my field. I am actually, my PhD is in the specialization is in the field of positive psychology. So these are a few mindfulness exercises, mindfulness audios, and other reading material, meditations, and MP3. Everything for you is here. Additional. This is additional. We will not be studying them during the course. And in the additional folder, this is additional folder, you can see all the videos that we are going to watch throughout the course. All right. For those of you who already are a psychotherapist, the DBT style of teaching that DBT skills style that I teach is from Carl Rogers' person-centered approach. Okay. There's a mindfulness meditation here, some other exercises, this role play recording, recognizing other materials, everything is here, and further readings also. This book by Marshall Lanahan herself is also a book recommendation, reading recommendation that you can do after the course is done. This is also a very good book. DBT skills training handouts and worksheets. And also there's another book recommendation that you already have, Guide to Individual Based DBT. So this is called Doing Dialectical Behavioral Therapy. Okay, it's also practical. These 3 books are recommended. One of them we're going to complete throughout this course. So let's get started. And all of this will be provided to you only, of course, those of you who are paid students next week. Okay. Now, moving on, let's start our lecture number 1. That is DBT skills therapy. Let's begin, guys. Let's begin. So certification. For certification, please listen to this very carefully because I don't want any confusions about it. Certifications ke andar, you can see that there will be 2 titles given. What you want is the DBT skills therapist. Okay. There is another title given to the students who don't perform very well during the course. So there will be final test clearing for both. There will be a reflective essay written by both. The difference is the DBT skills therapist has done a deep reflection. Deep means inside of your soul. How deep are you willing to go? If you write a surface reflection, oh yeah, bahut maza aaya, bahut acha course tha. If that's an essay, you're gonna maybe get a coach certificate. Attendance, minimum 13 out of 15 total lectures is compulsory. One, everyone is going to be okay with, because one is done for everybody. From next week, we are going to take attendance as well. Class participation is necessary. A lot of people are very passive observers. That is going to be a problem. From next week, everybody's cameras will be on. You will be sitting in your study corner. So it is going to feel like a real classroom. Your final live demo will be for both of them. You have to show me live in front of me and your other class fellows that you have learned the skills of DBT skills. I'm going to teach you exactly what, okay? And we're going to practice this during the class. Don't worry. There's also going to be a peer review. So every student that is a student in the class is going to write a little bit about other students and make sure that everyone is reviewed. I'm not biased against or towards anybody. Okay, guys. So DBT skills therapy, DBT behavioral therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy is a comprehensive cognitive behavioral treatment. Actually, this was developed by Dr. Marshall Linehan at the University of Washington. It was originally developed to treat chronically suicidal clients diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. It is found to be effective for suicidal clients and multiple other co-occurring behavior problems. Now, to treat this suicidal behavior and extreme depressive and manic, not manic, so extreme depressive problems, the borderline personality disorder, to treat this, Marshall Lanahan organized this, learned the teaching to the client of these 4 skills. All right, 4 modules, 4 skills. However, later on, psychology community, we have recognized that these 4 skills are not actually only DBT skills. They are life skills, especially with the invent of ChatGPT and social media. Everyone is having depression. Everyone is having anxiety. Everyone is having kind of a borderline traits. So everyone is now supposed to, has to, if you want to be an effective human being at your school, at your job, in your life, you have to master these 4 skills that we learn in DBT. What is BPD? Borderline personality disorder. These are individuals who show a characteristic pattern of instability in affect regulation. So emotions ki regulation. Suddenly they are extremely friendly with you, and suddenly they hate you, they just despise you, right? Affect regulate नहीं होता. जो thoughts and emotions hai, they are not really regulated, are not normal, are beyond the range of what we call a normal range, right? That's why they have emotion, they have impulse controls. They cannot control their impulses, right? Which basically is everyone in Gen Z, right? Every young person nowadays have impulse problems because of the instant gratification provided by social media. Everyone is now has impulse control problems. So even if you're not diagnosed with BPD, you need to learn all these 4 skills. Finally, these people have problem with interpersonal relationships. They cannot maintain relationships because obviously no one wants to be in a relationship with somebody who is always impulsive and always irregular in their emotions. And most importantly, self-image. I cannot tell you how distorted the self-image of these clients are. Right now, just now, I'm texting with a client who sees me every Friday, and he or she is telling me that Friday we are going to for Eid, so can we meet on Thursday? Now, just to ask, just to make this request, I had to push her self-esteem so high so that she can just ask, can we meet on Thursday? And at the end, as I said, okay, she is feeling so guilty that sorry, I don't want to be rude. So then just now I texted he or she that I want you to be rude. What you call rude is just assertive. Your needs matter, your wants matter, your boundaries matter. This is something that parents don't teach us, especially if you grow up in our brown family structure, right, where you don't matter, your needs and wants don't matter. That's what DBT is attempts to teach. Okay, Now, another word that we need to understand is emotions. What are emotions? Acha, this definition of emotion is my favorite emotion definition in all my practice. So even when we are in deep in hypnotherapy, even if we are in TOT, even if we are in NLP life coaching, this is the definition. Please note this with you. So when I say emotion, I'm talking about this definition. Okay, no confusion. All right, there are so many definitions. This is the correct one. Emotions are brief, involuntarily, full system, means all of your nervous system, pattern physical responses to an internal or external stimulus. Means when you are triggered, it's involuntarily, but it is brief and full system. All your nervous system, your nerves on the ears, your nerves in your hair, your nerves in your heart, your nerves in your thighs, everyone will be activated, but briefly, and it is a patterned physiological response. It's a pattern. If you are a good observer, which I hope by the end of these 3 courses you will be, you can observe these patterns in yourself and in your clients and in your people around you. And these stimulus, these triggers can be internal or external. You watch a movie, you're triggered, something starts happening inside you, that's an external. You wake up for no reason, you're feeling a certain way, that's an internal trigger. You're sitting alone and you're thinking about the good old days, and suddenly there is an emotional full war system, involuntarily brief pattern in your physiology. Okay, okay, so we understand BPD. Thumbs up if you understand what is BPD. Thumbs up if you understand emotions. Okay, all right, any questions? Thumbs up, I can see. All right, moving on. All right, I want everybody in the chat to tell me, what do you think about this person? Do you think he's a good person, bad person? Do you trust this person or what? You know, as soon as you see this guy, what do you think about him? Come on, man, Netflix has ruined my teaching. Depressed. Nakvi says depressed. Cold. Okay. Feeling what the other person has said. Oh, Hira doesn't watch Netflix. Good. Alina, cold. Noshin, sad. Noshin also doesn't watch Netflix. Ah, Hira, taking lecture on self. Fantastic. I like your response, Hira. And I don't like these people. जिन्होंने शुरू में बता दिया, Noshin and Manur. Yes, actually, you see, when you look at this guy, there is a certain response that you have inside you, right? He looks very trustworthy. I mean, would you give him your money? Would you listen to his pitch at least? Most of you would say yes. But then you will not know that this guy is actually Jeff Dahmer, who uh, killed plenty. He's a serial killer. He killed plenty of people. I don't want to say it online exactly how many people because I'm not sure. But there is a Netflix whole series on him. It's a must watch. The point that I'm trying to make here, whenever we are exposed to a life experience, we make a certain judgment about it. Whenever we have an experience in life, okay, now I'll give you another one. All right. So, what I'm doing right now, what do you think about it? Write in comments. Whatever comes to your mind, just write in the box. Whatever comes to your mind, write in the box. Somebody, for those online who cannot read them, I cannot see these responses. Hadia says, ruining your lungs. Noshin says, you don't know how to vape. I would like to learn from you then how to vape. Alina says, vaping. Okay. I'm going to tell you why this is an interesting response. Hira says, might be tired from daily routine and need to wake up. Nice. Okay. Umair says, your personal matter and choice. Mm. Hira says, mind? I don't know. Shaum says, personal choice. Manur says, nothing come to my mind. Okay. Do you think this means that I'm a good, bad, normal? What kind of a professional therapist, teacher am I now? I'll respond to you, Noshin. So, how does it reflect on my teaching? Okay, Hira says seems unprofessional. He, oh, we have two Hiras. Okay, that's what I was confusing. All right. So one is Hira Akmal says seems unprofessional. Hira Mahmood says not probably very professional. Hida Hadia Malkani says your profession has nothing to do with your personal life. Okay. Noshin says it is distracting. Manur says doesn't make you a good bad person. All right. Omer says unconventional to do as tutor. Alina says, even I lost it. And it says, your choice, but against class ethics. Okay. Hira says it's distracting. All right. So some of you agree, some of you don't agree, some of you don't care. All right. So we have clearly divided the audience in three different groups, correct? What is common between all three of you is your personal boxes that you have in your own mind about what is right and what is wrong, isn't it? Some believe that this action is an unprofessional action. Some of you say it doesn't matter at all, isn't it? Now, those of you who say it doesn't matter at all, those of you who say it is unprofessional, they live in different boxes, isn't it? And most of the times, these people living in two different boxes disagree with each other. Like if I create an environment right now that I make you guys debate each other, you might even start fighting each other. No? Hira says, but during lecture or session, we don't do distract others, I guess. Okay. So Hira finds this distracting. Okay. So it has a lot to do with Hira, not action, right? Because Hira Mahmood is distracted, but others are not distracted. There's a point that I'm trying to make. I will make it in just a moment. Okay, Ramesh Khalil has an interesting, I would say, slogan. I'm sure most of us don't believe in this. She said, Ramesh, I think she says, disagreement doesn't mean dislike. All right, now, my point is something else. Now, I'm drinking something out of my mug. Everyone can see my mug, and I'm drinking something out of it. What do you think that is? Nothing. Hiram Mahmood says it's nothing. What else? Put it in the chat. What am I drinking out of my mug? Alina, could be anything. Ramesh Khalil, coffee. Uh, all right, this is interesting. Noshin, I would like to first know if it is hot or cold. So she wants more information. That's an interesting one. Hadia, chai. Manur, tea or coffee maybe. All right. I think the right answer would be I would like to know more, because at this point of time, I do not know. It is chai, coffee, or nothing at all. It was a little bit of something. You don't know what it is. You can never know what it is. But how can you know this? How can you actually know? Only if you are curious and you suspend what we call your judgment. You see, every time we see, hear, feel, taste, smell anything in this world, there will be a judgment in our mind. This judgment comes from past experiences. So, in a way, we are always connected to the past, right? Those of you who think a teacher, who have seen teachers, very formal, very serious, never vaping in the class, there is an experience expectation that if the person is outside of this box, is not inside of this box, maybe not acceptable. Those of you who have seen teachers, tutors drinking a certain thing out of this certain thing, mug, there is an expectation then. We are never free from the past, are we? Anything that we have experienced decides how we observe the present moment, unless we are living our life with curiosity. Just like Noshin said, I would like to see more. I would like to know more. Is it hot, cold? Is it watery? Is it milky? Right? The problem is this is not how the mind automatically works. The automatic function of the mind is comparing the experience of today with the experience of the past. Whatever you have learned decides, you have learned and experienced decides how you see the world today, isn't it? The teacher once goes to a master and he asks, I want to learn meditation from you. I want to learn the meaning of life from you. I want to understand what it all means. And the master says, all right, let's have a cup of tea first. Now, the teacher, like me, is a professor, right? And he has learned so many theories. Now, while the master is pouring tea, the teacher says, are we going to learn XYZ theory? Are you going to teach me this? Are you going to make me meditate? Are you going to ask me these questions? The master keeps pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring until the cup is so overflowing that the tea starts flowing out on the hands of the teacher, and he burns his hand, puts the cup down, and he says, stop pouring hot tea on my hand. Why are you pouring so much tea on me? And the master says, listen, your mind is like this cup of tea. It's already full. There's no more for me to put in it. So go back home, and when you come back, before you come here, empty your cup. That's what I observed in only one person, that is Noshin. She said, my cup is empty. I don't know what is inside of the mug. Give me more information. But everyone else, I'm not judging you guys. I'm just bringing something into your awareness. That's being a normal human. It's a human trait to want to make sense of the world. We try to make connections out of it. These, what we call judgments. Judgments, scientifically speaking, keep you unhappy and dissatisfied. All right? There's a whole science behind it that we're going to get into. So, the only way that we can live a psychologically healthy life is with curiosity, and how we can develop curiosity by a mindset called the radical acceptance or the state of non-judgment introduced to us in the books of Marshall Lenihan, but initially by the Buddhist practices in the East. So what Marshall Lenihan did, she studied from the East, from the Chinese medicine, and then took her PhD in psychotherapy, psychology, and then combined these two mindsets. One cannot work without the other. All of them make sense together. All right. So you have understood what judgments are? Yeah. And the only way that we can live a productive, happy, and healthy life is a state of non-judgment. But how does this state of non-judgment, which technically in the psychological, in modern psychology, in positive psychology, we call it radical acceptance. How does radical acceptance look like? It is clear in one of the stories that is one of my favorite stories, and I'm going to tell you about it. You see in the picture that I just showed you, you see a farmer, right? It's a Chinese farmer. Well, Chinese, Japanese, I don't really know. But let's, for the sake of the story, call him the Chinese farmer. Now, China used to go to war a lot. And I'm talking about in the past where people were only farmers. Farming was the main source of income, and cattle were main source of income. You grew roosters and chickens and cows and everything, you know. Uh, so in China, what they did was there was this. They say there was this Chinese farmer who had only one son. His wife had died, and his son was his only asset, his only family. They say that one morning, he wakes up and sees that because of the heavy rain last night, his farm is completely destroyed. No crop left. Now, this is the time that the farmers earn money from their crops. They work whole year to earn some money from their crop. What happens? He wakes up, he looks at the farm, and he sees it completely destroyed. Not only he, but the people around him in the village come to him and say, "Oh, you're so unlucky. It is so bad, so painful that you cannot even survive now because your farm is destroyed." The farmer has an interesting response that was unusual to a lot of the people. He says, "Good, bad, I don't know. It is what it is." A few weeks pass by. One morning, the farmer and his son wake up and see that because of the flooded field, there was a lot of heavy mud. And apparently, a lot of wild horses that used to be a very expensive asset, they passed by, crossed the field, and a lot of them got stuck in his farm. So he wakes up essentially owning new horses. Again, the villagers come to his land and say, "Oh, you are so lucky. Now you're a rich man because you have so many wild, expensive horses." The Chinese farmer again says, "Good, bad, I don't know. It is what it is." Time passes. Now, while they're training these wild horses before they sell them, of course, you cannot sell wild horses. You have to put, seat on them, sit on them. You have to be able to ride them, right? But wild horses are not agreeable. So first you have to tame them. During the taming of these wild horses, the Chinese farmer's son falls down, breaks his legs, and essentially gets paralyzed from his waist down. Another sad thing to his life. Villagers come back again. They say what? What everybody says to us as soon as they see us do anything in life. "Oh, such a bad luck. Oh, it's so unlucky." The farmer says, "Good, bad, I don't know. It is what it is." You see? Because very soon China, as is going to the war with the Mongols, they come to recruit young people, whoever is able to fight in the army. Now, going into the army was by force back then, right? So they come and take all the young people from the village, leaving only the old people behind. They come to the Chinese farmer and they leave the son alone because he's paralyzed. They leave the farmer alone because he's old. All the villagers gather again, crying now because of their lost sons. Going to the war means dying. They're crying and they're screaming and they say, "You are so lucky. Your son will survive the war." Again, the Chinese farmer says, "Good, bad, I don't know. It is what it is." The story of Chinese farmer, at the core of it, teaches us that events of the future are unpredictable. Nothing that happens today can be seen in isolation. You can only observe your life and life experiences when you take the cosmic view, when you zoom out of the present moment and take a view in the larger term. How many of you have had that breakup? How many of you have had that exams failed? How many of you have had that disease? How many of you have had that accident where you thought this is the end of the world? I cannot survive this. At the same time, how many of you have that lottery ticket coming out for you? How many of you had that sudden success out of nowhere? And you thought, oh, this is the best day of my life, or this is the worst day of my life. None of you have thought about the cosmic perspective, the radical acceptance of it all. It is what it is. It is very important for psychologically healthy and especially for succeeding in this course to develop a radically acceptance mindset. Does that make sense to you all? This is the first concept that you have to master in this course, radical acceptance. So when I am drinking something out of this mug and I ask you, what is it? The only correct answer is, it is what it is. Because whatever, anything else that you say is coming from your judgment, not the actual experience. When I vape during the class, it is what it is. Because everything else that you think, feel, and experience is due to your personal past experience and your expectations. Does that make sense to you? So, skill number one, radical acceptance. Now, during the course, there is going to be a lot of stories shared, there is a lot of discussions done. The only way to succeed in this course and life is having the attitude of radical acceptance. It's a mindset. No one can develop it for you. You have to develop it for yourself. Amazing story. Fine, thank you. All right. Skill number one. Skill number two, dialectics. This is your homework till next week. Practicing radical acceptance. It is what it is. And two, dialectics. It's also an offshoot of radical acceptance. You see, dialectics, dialectical behavioral therapy. So the dialectic stands for dialectics. What is dialectics? Di means two. What does dialectics means? You see this the symbol right here? It's a Japanese or Chinese symbol of Taiji. It represents the yin and yang, two opposing energies, two opposing forces in the universe. इसको यूं समझे कि ये दिन और रात है, day and night, health and disease, happy and sad, pain and pleasure. Now, I want you to understand that at the core of this therapeutic modality, we do not prefer one over another. We welcome both because we understand they make sense together as a whole. Night would not make sense if there was no day. Day would not make sense if there was no night. Money does not make sense if you have never been poor. Health makes no sense if you have never been sick. Let me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you a very interesting philosophical question. This is something that I created myself many, many years ago. Do you think a fish knows that she's living in water? Yes or no? Do you think a fish knows that she's living in water? Alina says no. And I think so too. Because, yes, Hira, you got it. Because she has never experienced anything else. So she cannot like or dislike the water. Correct, Omer? Only by chance or by some divine plan, if the fish gets out of the water once and then goes back into the water, now she has a comparison. Now she has a touchstone to see land is better or water is better. How is land as compared to the water? It's the same with human beings. We can only experience and understand the world through experiencing the opposite of it, right? So if you don't experience the summer, you can never experience the winter. It's humanly, it's existentially for no creation in the world possible to understand things without the opposing forces. The problem is we have preferences and we dislike the opposites, no? When we get sick, we hate the world, we hate life. Oh, मेरे साथ कितना बुरा हो रहा है. Yes, we forget that health makes sense only in the context of this sickness. Yeah, day only makes sense because there is night. Let me take you one step forward. Life makes sense only because you die at the end. Think about it. You think if you were immortal, life would be good for you. You would have any pleasure, you would have any fun in your life. Because everything you would postpone to tomorrow. No? The only way life makes any sense is because we die. So dialectics help us welcome both sides, all sides. Does that make sense? All right. So two things that we need to develop to succeed in this course plus life is number one, radical acceptance, and number two, recognition and welcoming of dialectics, which again goes back to radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is at the core of our first module, that is mindfulness. So next time when you have that experience and you have judgments about it, and because of that judgment you are making yourself suffer, ask yourself, am I radically accepting this? I will end today's lecture by another saying, again taken from Buddhism, but I learned it from my guru. But he's an American person. He's an NLP life coach, but I call him my guru, and he hates being called a guru, but I call him my guru. And he said, in life, pain is inevitable. Inevitable means you have no choice. There will be pain in life. In life, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. You think about it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for hypnotherapy, Thursday for NLP, and next week, if you have enrolled in all these courses, once again, you can reach out to my phone number. I'm going to display my phone number again. I'm not able to display the phone number again. I'm going to text it here. 0332-780-7080. Note it down for yourself, and I'll see you guys next week or tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz for today.